Saturday night. Saturday night. Yes, I still am. Some people have been questioning. I am endeavoring to move as I've started also working uh, some full time and back in the area of engineering. So I've been exceedingly busy. Uh, Guys, when you've had a farm and a place that you've been living for 33 years and you run a lot of projects from it, yeah, I got a lot of stuff. All right, guys, what's going on? The world is going crazy, but uh, guys, we've talked about Civil War, and I probably should do a video specifically on that topic. I've been meaning to, but I'd say we're really already in one of sort. A cold Civil War. Just how cold is it, though? It's kind of rough in this country in some regards, where divisions are so deep and so entrenched. How are we going to deal with it? Was what happened Saturday before last a part of that? I'd say better chance than not. Um, did we have a double coup in this country? So a lot to explore here tonight, my friends. A lot of people are just joining us. So think about this to show you. Sorry, I am on my phone tonight. The phone will buffer. I do not have my internet service provider to house anymore. Not the Mediacom. It's gone. So I am just winging it through AT&T, and it will buffer. So my apologies for that, my friends. So all that aside, let's have a look at this, guys. There was a poll that came out, a poll of Democrats that suggested that 1/3 of them, 1/3, fully 1/3, wish the events of last Saturday had went otherwise. They wish that the round that pierced the ear of Donald J. Trump had taken him out. 1/3. Can you believe that? That is incredible. It's horrible. But that just shows how deeply divided we are, how entrenched it is, how bitter it is, my friends. Yeah, I'm not watching any Olympics, guys. I don't have time for that. And we're going to talk about that too. That's part of our conversation tonight in the following venue. For one, I'm told they had an opening ceremony that made a lot of folks of faith somewhat less than happy. I've not seen it. I don't know the details about it. That's just what I hear. And I hear that Paris went dark, and some people think that's the good Lord speaking back to them. It's been the day before they had problems with trains there, and that was blamed on Iranians. Of course, we're all gearing up for a conflict with Iran, it seems. So could this be part of what's cooking? Are we gearing up for a conflict with Iran? Are they wanting to blame everything on Iran or somebody else? Maybe the Vladimir? I don't know, my friends, but was that where it came from? Steve Poppler did a very interesting video today. I do like to watch a little YouTube when I'm managed to have a little lunch or dinner. His video kind of echoed stuff I've been saying for a long time. And for a long time, I've been telling you guys, there's more of us than there is of them. I do not advocate civil war, but there may be peaceful means to address the divisions. And I think that's kind of where he was going. Protest. That's what he was talking about. Protest. Hey, Tim Satter, hadn't seen you in a while, don't believe. Devin, Steve, Arnold Smith. We got a lot of our good friends in the house tonight. Val. So, yeah, Steve Poppler's a good guy. I've interviewed him. He actually emailed me suggesting we do another interview because it's something he don't do, but he likes my channel. He's a good guy. I like his channel. He's a real good man. That's all I can say about Steve. He's a really good man, really smart too, and he's been around a lot. He's traveled a lot. He's a good young man. He's relative to me, he's still a young man. Yeah. I think things are about to escalate real fast. Steve Poppler. The Poppler Report is his YouTube channel. Everybody go there, subscribe to it. I highly encourage people to subscribe. He's also got, I think, Poppler Prepper. He's got a couple of YouTube channels. He keeps the political stuff off Poppler Prepper like I should do with this channel. That's why I created Swivel Head News. I just don't have enough following yet on Swivelhead News, and nobody's been here of late. I haven't done a video late on this channel, so I just needed to come in here and say hi, let you guys know I'm still live. I did do a video on Swivelhead News a couple nights ago. Yeah, go check him out, everyone, and tell him I sent you. Subscribe to his channel and go in the comment section and say, hey, Greg Allison over at Green Greg sent me here. Or say Green Greg's and Swivelhead News, because, you know, I do both channels. So, yeah, I think he's an outstanding man. That's all I want, and you can quote that too. Yeah, poplar, like a poplar tree. In fact, a tree is in the logo of his channel. So, good man. And he's also he's been a something of a missionary, not something of he's actually does missionary work, guys. And he's traveled the world. He's been in a lot of countries. He's seen a lot of things firsthand. He was in Japan when they had that big earthquake back a few months ago. He was on his way to India at that time. So he's, yeah, you watch him every day. There you go, traveler. Yeah, he puts out usually 2 videos a day. A formula that I tried to emulate for a while. I can't do it right now. I'm due to do 2 a month right now. I am struggling for time, guys. I mean, struggling. It's late, and I got to get up early in the morning, but I just needed to come to you guys. So one of our followers here, Chewy Weather, alerted me to some balloon flights going over Oregon. And so there were 4 highball balloons that were floating at the altitudes of 51 to 58,000 feet, just like the Chinese spy balloons. And these balloons were, at first I did a little AI search on it, and it attributed them to a company formerly known as X, not Twitter, but another company that had been formed by the Alphabet Corporation. They had a project they started called Project Loon. And, well, it wasn't Project Loon at all. Project Loon shut down. That company shut down in 2021. So I thought, well, I got to do some digging. What's going on here? We got balloons that were launched at sea that flew over Oregon, were flying over Oregon, and they were at that spy balloon altitude. Not really your best altitude for an EMP launch, but it's the best altitude to loiter, because that's a slower altitude. It's just above the jet stream where the aircraft fly, and above the higher winds in the stratosphere that go even faster. This is a slow region of the atmosphere. I covered it in my balloon EMP threat video. I went over those regions in the atmosphere and what the wind profiles look like, and why you might want to choose that wind profile for a spy balloon or a communications balloon. That's why the highball balloons went there. So in any event, yeah, oh yeah, he was in Dubai when the flood happened. Yeah, it's been interesting. So, but these balloons were registered to the U.S. At first I'm going, well, is this accurate? Is this good? So I did a little research on it. Here's what I found. Now, this is good, but this also raises some questions and is a bit disturbing. There was a company called Near Space Corporation that was started by a guy named Tim Lockenmeyer, who might actually have kind of an indirect connection, or a couple of several indirect connections with. Tim Lockenmeyer started this company called Near Space, and one of the things that Near Space is doing research for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory for balloons to float in the atmosphere of Venus, which you might have seen that I was quite fond of colonizing Venus with balloons, and I did that on my Galactic Greg's channel. I come up with a whole aerostat habitat to float in the atmosphere of Venus concept. So, but he's also had perfected the technique that I'd started earlier. Really followed on the tradition that James Van Allen had started, actually, of launching balloons from sea with rockets. So he actually picked up on that. And actually, see, I had a contractor. This is how one way we're connected. I had a contractor, JPL. JPL contracted with me through my High Altitude Research Corporation to launch a Mars aerostat experiment. We went out in the Gulf of Mexico. Because of the nature of the spot market at the time after a hurricane that they had in the Gulf of Mexico, this was in 1999, I think. No, 1998. It was 1998. We also had a balloon launch return vehicle thing that we had won as a SBR with Dryden Research Center for the Altitude Research Corporation. Well, the cost of the ocean operations went up, so I decided to combine the missions. The principal investigator at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory was Viktor Kurzanovich, a Russian. Well, he wasn't too happy with going out of Louisiana because it was a port. It was, a really crude place. There was nothing fancy and refined about it. It was a oil outfit, an oil operations type outfit. But I got a boat on the spot market that I could afford that was able to satisfy the needs that he was looking for technically, and also for my balloon launch return vehicle. Well, it just so happens that there was a problem with the balloon that Aerostar had created, and the spool at the top of it gave way after we got the thing fully inflated, freestanding on the deck of the boat called the C. Michael Calais. Good boat, nice boat, good crew on that boat. I really thought the world of the crew of that boat. It had a black captain and a black, whatever the next in charge was, but it was a good crew. It was a nice boat. A really nice boat for a utility boat, so it was the nicest one I ever went out on. And we got, kind of a good deal on it, all things considered. But it was expensive, but, I had 2 projects that paid the way for it. Well, guess what? So that balloon gave way, and Victor Kuzanovich went to Tim Lockenmeyer for his subsequent flights. And they flew out of Hawaii, which was much nicer. Well, I didn't have any Hawaiian connections, I'm just a, poor redneck rocket scientist, right? So I don't have Hawaiian connections. I had connections with the Gulf of Mexico, and had operated out of there before and done so since with a balloon launch rocket project, my altitude research Cat's Prize rocket. So, and I'd been in the Gulf of Mexico before, operating off the NASA's Pearl River barge. So I've got a lot of experience doing that kind of operation. That's why I did the paper on the EMP balloon threat for the Homeland, for Peter Prize old organization, which is still a very active organization. I'm an active member of the Task Force of National and Homeland Security. And you've seen I have interviewed several people from that task force, and so has even Nate over at Canadian Prepper. So, Greg, my thoughts are on President Kamala. Yeah, that's scary, Whiplash. That's a very scary thought. Yeah, I did a little video, a little song ditty on about that over on Swivelhead News, predicting something like that might happen. And what I was predicting there is they may have voted the 25th on Biden, and they still might. So we're going to talk double coup. We got to keep talking Civil War, World War III, a lot of stuff here. So in any event, so what happened is Tim Lockenmeyer operates out of Tillamook, Oregon. He actually has 33,000 square miles of range space that he can launch from Oregon. And so, but the interesting thing is Tim's not doing that anymore. They were bought out by Aerostar, the company that he supplanted in the little endeavor that I was working with JPL. So Mike Smith is the chief engineer over in at Aerostar for the balloon launch operations. And in fact, I've had him on the boats with me on a couple of occasions. So I consider him a friend. I've talked to him, not too long ago. But I think it was right before they bought out Tim Lockenmeyer, Airspace Corporation. So that is now an Aerostar operation. I have worked with Aerostar very close. I like the guys over at Aerostar, good company. It was just a fluke, very rare fluke problem they had. See, all the gores at the top of these balloons go into a spool at the top, and they basically have all that plastic, polyethylene, bound by something that looks like a radiator clamp on a radiator hose inside there. Well, that thing for some reason just gave way. That balloon was standing straight up over 100 feet in the air, and the Martian aerobot that was supposed to fly was standing over our heads when that thing turned loose. And one of our members, I actually had a high schooler I took out on that venture, Chase Reniger. That thing nearly hit Chase. Chase later went on to become quite a rocket scientist himself. Good man. Married into the Pickens family. You may have seen me talk about, I've done interviews with Tim Pickens over on my Galactic Greg's channel. So a lot of things here, guys. But so I know about these balloon launch operations. I wanted to investigate that. And yeah, that was a legitimate flight. It was a U.S. flight. 4 balloons going to Oregon. Nothing to be concerned with there, except it does show the case that you can launch balloons from the sea to go over land like I was talking about. It's easily done. You can launch them to go to higher altitudes. Everything I said in my report, my video on that I covered on this channel, is absolutely true. And it's something you need to watch out for. I hope my signal's not too bad, guys. I am on my cell phone because I don't have my Mediacom internet service provider went south on me. And I was going to shut it down anyway because I'm moving. If you might notice, this bookcase behind me is getting emptied out. This is one of the last rooms I've chose to empty out because this is my operations center here in the house while I'm here. It's like a witch is calling. Someone is stirring a pot of wickedness. Yeah, there's a lot of wickedness going around there, Arnold. But I'm doing okay. I'm just struggling to get things done. I got so many things going to move. I got so much stuff to move, and I've got we got a skid steer outside, and I got a big dumpster. And this is the second weekend I've rented a skid steer, and those things aren't cheap. At first I was loading worm beds on the back of my 2-ton truck. It's got a 20-foot bed on it, and I loaded up 10 worm beds, which is quite enough that a person can have some really good supplemental income with if they're doing it by themselves. And I've decided the only way to really do a business these days, and worms or anything else, is just do what you can do on your own without having to hire anybody. Kamala's Cauldron. Kamala Cauldron. That kind of alliterates, don't it? Green Greg's wouldn't alliterate anything now, would he? Cackles Cauldron. We'll just call it Cackles Cauldron. Oh my gosh. So let's go back to this idea of Steve Poppler when he's talking about France. I'm going to go back to the coup and Civil War. So Steve thinks that this is part of internal resistance over in France because he thinks the working people there, kind of like the farmers did. The farmers protested to great effect in Europe, just a few months ago. Those Europeans were basically wanting to shut down a lot of the farms. The order of the House of Klaus don't like farming. They don't like anything that might put a person independent. So they was not liking that at all. Oh no. You can't have cows. Cows are horrible. They're terrible. You can't have farming, unless we force them to use all this and that and the other and regulate them. Well, they were about to really put a bunch of farms out of business with their stupid governmental policies, and farmers had enough of it. So they went all over the European capitals with their tractors and blocked everything off, and they were spraying poo on the governmental buildings. Now, just given the nature of government, that was probably a cleansing. They probably didn't really think that through. They were probably aiding those buildings. Cleaned them a little bit with some cow poo, horse poo, whatever they were using. Russia shut down YouTube in Russia. Well, they may be. I don't know. And it's real. It's hard to come in here and talk about stuff. Very exceedingly different. And some of the stuff that I would talk about this tonight, I'll save for I'll save for a discussion over in Swillowhead News. Some of the details here, but the party that tells us that are defenders of democracy took the votes of their citizens, of their party members when they voted to nominate President Taterhead, and just cast him aside. Nah, we'll do it our way. We don't want him. We're just going to do something different. This party that claims themselves to be the defenders of democracy, I'm using their words because we know we live in a republic, okay? They're also, the U.S. dollar, that's a whole other topic too. My God, we need to talk about that. Yikes. There's so much going on, guys. The U.S. dollar's got some real risk. Remind me, Arnold, bring that up if I don't. I can't stay on here all night either. I got to I got to get up early tomorrow. Oh my gosh, guys. So, here it is. The coup thing. Well, let's go back to this thing and now there's too much to talk about. Let's talk about this thing in France. Poppler was suggesting this is part of the citizens' protest. They're just shutting down things to take the notice of the government. They're doing it right when the Olympics is going on over there. Well, that's kind of key timing, is it not? I don't know. Hey, Scott, how you doing? Late's better than ever. You can always catch the rewind. So I have a video rewound to catch up with what he's covered. There you go. So, like I said, this resounds close to what I've been telling you guys for a long time. What we have in the United States is a division between areas that are principally urban versus areas that are principally. That's what the division. And in urban areas, they're more mindset to be dependent, because they're dependent on all kind of services and systems. In areas that aren't so urban, we tend to be a little bit more individualistic, a little more independent, not wanting to be dependent as much as possible. We all have dependencies on each other, but it's very different mindset. The mindset of the rugged individual. I like that. The idea of freedom, real freedom. You know, these defenders of democracy, as they call themselves, want to shut down dissent. They want to shut down any discussion that is counter to what they're talking about, like freedom of speech. They want to take away your freedom to arm bearers. Yeah. But they're the defenders of democracy. Now, President Taterhead is wanting to put forward constitutional amendments to change the Supreme Court and to limit presidential liability. Let's see where we're going here. And the fact that some of you might have missed it, what I said earlier was the recent poll says that 1/3 of the Democrats say they wished that the T-Man had not made it through the events of Saturday before last. That is shocking. But like I said, that just shows you the level of division. So the fact of the matter is, the facts are this. Like I said, there's more of us than there is of them. You know, a good protest where you just shut down services to the cities, they're going to be in a world of hurt. Kind of like France. Don't take a civil war. Civil war is an awful proposition. Civil war, let's hope we don't get there, because it will be horrendous. We lost 600,000 to 700,000 Americans in the 1860s. Back when we had a far smaller population than we have today. The South was economically destroyed for about 100 years. It took a long time to recover from that. It's an experience that we don't need to go through. Let's just be honest about it. If we can avoid it, it needs to be avoided. Sometimes you can't be run over, but you know, you don't need no stinking civil war. So, but there's other means, because you know, if the people band together just to deny services to those that are so in need of services. Now here's the linchpin: money. What they control in these big centralized systems, and Steve kind of hinted at it, but he didn't go quite here. It's banking. That's the biggest thing they control in the big cities, is banking. So what happened in Canada? Trudeau shut down bank accounts. Not only of the truckers when they had the trucker strike up there, but anybody that donated $5 to help them. Suddenly they had their bank account shut down. So there's a solution to that. I don't know if any of you guys see these ads that pop up on YouTube all the time about if you got $50,000, you can be your own bank. Well, I ain't got $50,000 to play with. I don't know why I'm seeing those ads. But I know some people that do. Maybe you do too. And some of them are very independently minded. So maybe it's time to just chat around with some folks and say, hey, you know, maybe we need our own bricks here inside the United States. We need our own system, our own financial system. Hey, Michelle Young, how you doing? Thank you for the ad. And thank you for the donation in the last video. I'm very much appreciative of that. John Cole, I was in Iraq. They had a civil war, brutal. Exactly. Black belt in Alabama used to be rich. So, yeah, exactly. Alabama was probably the richest state in the Union prior to that War of Northern Aggression. Yeah, the richest state in the Union. Alabama was doing quite well. And it wasn't just slavery, my friends. So, You know, they like to rewrite the history books. The victors write the history books. Don't forget that. Keith in Arizona, 2 years of waiting and suffering. My disability was approved. Just bought a 16 by. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Congratulations, Keith. Keith was he was starving, guys. He was starving to death out there in the desert back when I was out there last time. I'm so glad to hear that. That's awesome. The guy was literally starving. He couldn't afford to buy a bean. He had no money, but he's doing good now. So doing well, I should say. So glad to hear that. Glad to hear it, Keith. So maybe I can tag up with you. Maybe we can catch up next time you get kind of settled down out there. But yikes, I got a lot going on, guys. A lot going on. So here's the deal. Let's go back to this notion of banking, where another thing, maybe having some assets and things that they can't control so easily. I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin. If the grid goes down, you ain't got nothing. It's all gone. But it might be one way to keep some non-traceable assets, or buy gold and keep some on hand yourself. Look, guys, what did I tell you guys a long time back? I said the price of gold was going up. In other words, around $2,400 per troy ounce. I think at one time when I was promoting these things, it was something like 1900. Man, that would have been a good time to done some buying. Something to think about. I think the dollar is in big trouble. And Arnold kind of launched into this topic about the dollar. So let's hit that real fast. Japan is in a strait. Japan can't cover their Social Security. In order to do that, they need to pump up the yen. In order to do that, the Japanese government is planning, they're the biggest holder of U.S. debt, of U.S. treasuries. They're planning to dump $400 billion in U.S. treasuries. One of their banks has already dumped $63 billion, and there's another bank in Japan that holds $500 billion in U.S. treasuries that may dump too. If they dump this means, the United States, which really can't repay its debt, is going to have a hard time attracting people to buy treasury notes. The only way that they could probably do that is to increase interest rates considerably so they can pay more interest on those loans, which is going to impact our deficit, because suddenly the interest on our national debt will shoot sky high. You see where this is going, guys? We're talking an economic train wreck right here in the United States and the crash of the U.S. dollar. It's not just bricks, but the whole world is in a tight right now, and we have gone too far in debt. A lot of what we're suffering in inflation is because we've gone too far in debt. But guess what? That's going to put us in debt faster. That's going to make it like a runaway chain reaction. So there is one solution to it, which I don't see. Yeah, Weimar Republic. Looks like we're heading there. And what I tell you guys for a long time, the reason that we were able to sustain all this crazy debt for so long was because the dollar was a global reserve currency. There were so many dollars out there in the world, like in Germany. But here we are today looking at this whole notion that the dollar is being challenged by many different forces, and principally our uncontrolled spending. That's the biggest one. And I've warned you guys about that. I've warned about it for a long time. When the cows are coming home to roost, basically. Cows don't roost like a chicken, but you know what I mean. The old adage, the cows are coming home. Guys, we are in a bad situation. So you got to pay close attention to this. Get your ducks in order, guys. Get your ducks in a row. We're going to talk about lame ducks here in a little bit. But get your ducks in a row. Somebody told me last time, I said, I don't have any ducks. Well, get your orders your own house in order as best as you can, because we are facing some dire situations here, my friends. We're talking the dollar may be virtually worthless. Now, what does that mean? Them bloody ducks. This still may be a good investment. I'm not an investment counselor. I'm not an investment expert. I claim none of that. But I did say the price of gold would go up. Was I right? I also said the price of food would go up. It's not only a couple of things I've ever predicted, really. Some people say, oh, great, nothing you predict ever come true. I have not made any definitive predictions. I tell you what the threats are. A threat doesn't mean it's going to materialize, but it's something you got to be prepared for, something you have to be aware for. I did say that Russia was going into Ukraine. That happened. I did say that food prices were going to skyrocket. Was I wrong? Oh my God, look at the price of bleach now. In the local public store here, they just increased the price of unsweet tea to $4 a gallon. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, Lordy. So, the dollar is in trouble, guys. It is in huge trouble. It don't mean it can't make it out, but what's the best thing the government could do to fix it and remedy the situation? Quit spending. Control spending. And is that likely to happen? With war and everything else staring us down the neck? I don't think so. President Cackles, if she gets in the POTUS office, is committed to major government spending. Major government spending. Major taxation. No nation has ever taxed its way into prosperity. No nation has ever grew and prospered by taking from those that produce and giving it to those that don't produce. So, hey, Social Security, people have paid in that for years. There's some things we've paid into, and there's some people that need help. So, I think those things need to be honored. But just the whole way, and we got the borders wide open. Oh, yeah, they're trying to rewrite the history of a certain individual who is running for president for that party that claims to be the defenders of democracy. And that's their own claim. I'll tell you again, we live in a republic, but they don't like to talk about that. Why? Because it invokes the idea that you vote. Yeah, they like to be able to pick, apparently, who they put before you and cast your vote aside. That's what happened with this primary season I just had, right? So, I have a half acre of bare land. Does it not generate income? I still owe. Yeah, you could make it produce, Val. There's ways to do it. Small worm farm. You grow microgreens. But grow your own food. That's probably the most important thing you can do. Grow your own food. Does food not cost you money? You could grow an enormous amount. On 1/10 of an acre, if you follow some of the videos I put out, you can grow enough food to feed a family of 4. I've covered that with the DeVace family. I've covered that with Jason Avers with Green Country Agroforestry. He's not in here tonight, I don't think, but check him out. He's a good guy. He's got a good channel. Very informative. It's not a big channel. I don't know why. It should be huge. He's very, very knowledgeable and very informative. He's got good videos. Jason Avers. Check it out. Green Country Agroforestry, I believe. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting confused here. But anyway, get us some grow fruit trees and a food forest. Amen. Amen. Do that. I've also done videos early on this channel showing you how to grow your garden in such a way you ain't got to go to the stores. That's one of the big advantages of raising worms. So, by the way, I will probably set up an affiliate or a deal with my first cousin who bought out most of my worm assets and once they're ready to go prime time. So we'll see what they're doing. I sold 34 sled beds, which is a lot more than what I started out with. So they could pull it off, and they're going to do it themselves. So all of my green peppers are growing with something black on it. Uh-oh. Never happened before. Maybe a mold. You better check that. Anyway, there's also some nutrient deficiencies it could be having there. So, hey, Chewy, how you doing? Chewy, I've already talked about the balloon situation. Yeah, this was started, those balloon flights were started by Near Space. What was originally Near Space Corporation got bought out by Aerostar. Tim Lockenmeyer is the guy. And I said I got more than a few connections with him, like indirectly, like he took over a contract I had been involved in. He to do balloon launches for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. He also launches some sea, and he got bought out by Aerostar, whose chief engineer is a friend of mine, and One of my best friends, Bill Brown, is also a friend of Tim Lockenmeyer. Well, Tim sold his company, probably made real good money on it. It's that sale. So, but the whole thing illustrates the point of what balloon flights are capable of being launched in sea easily, as I've done and said. So that's no joke. And you could do an EMP attack on America by that kind of a thing. All right, so let's go back now to this. So we've talked about nature of the Civil War and how maybe we need our own little financial institution so that somebody like an American Trudeau couldn't just come in and shut everybody's bank accounts down. So we need to think about that. We got to be able to have financial transactions that are independent. So that's just something to point out. Hey, Gigi, I love your show. Homer, Alaska. Hey, very good. Good to see you from Alaska. Homer, Alaska. Awesome. I lived in Alaska 2 years and loved it. Beautiful, beautiful country. I think it's the most beautiful state I've ever been to. And I've been to most of the United States by far. But there's just a handful of states I've not visited. Hawaii is one of them. I almost went to Hawaii on a couple of different occasions, but for various and sundry reasons it didn't happen. And I've not been to Minnesota, West Virginia, or the New England states, but I've been every other state. Every other state I've been. Bartering, yes, bartering. Amen to that. I caught those balloons launching while watching the air tankers. Yes. So that's what I was talking about. Catch me on the rewind here, Chewy. You'll see where I was talking about that. So, yeah, Chewy alerted me to that. So he's my weatherman. So, Arnold, I live on 1 acre with a manufactured home. I was thinking about selling my other half-acre bare lot, paying off my bills. Well, you can grow on where your 1 acre is. That's plenty of land. You can grow stuff even indoors. I've talked about that too. So there's a lot of options for you to grow food. A lot of options. So just kind of weigh what you got. Just growing your own food will save you a lot of money and give you independence. Now, if you could also grow something to sell a little bit, that could help you out. So check that out. But if you go into a business like that, make sure it's something you can do on your own without having to hire other people, because that's a disaster. That is a disaster these days. So I'll just tell you, don't do that. Don't use that model. I tried it, and the hiring of other people demolished me. It really did, guys. 290K red salmon ran up the Kenai River in 1 day. Wow. Wow, 1 day. Well, that's good. That means they're healthy. Lots of them. I grow in a 15 by 20 foot small apartment backyard. You can do it. Amen, Killer Smurf. That's what I'm saying. You can do it. Now, I wish New Days were here, because I had somebody in Vermont say, "Well, you're talking about warmer weather places. No, we can't do that here." Well, now, New Days does it in Maine, which is even colder than that guy's place in Vermont. So, yeah, it's doable. It is doable. So, guys, if you're interested in these, go to Defy the Grid and .com, defythegrid.com, and use the code GreenGregs to get 1% off. Their whole margin is like 3%. So, for them to make a deal like that is awesome. That's why they make you the guarantee that if you find a better deal somewhere else, they'll meet it or beat it. So that's there's a lot of people promoting a lot of other folks that sell this stuff, and it's not just the gold bats. I love these because they're fungible. You can stick with a small amount of gold. And you can stick them in your wallet and buy a couple 12 packs of eggs with them, a couple of loaves of bread with one of these smaller ones like this one note, which is 1/1000th of a troy ounce, or you can buy gold coins and bullion there, gold, silver, platinum. It's all available. So there was a church that made money. They said they were backed by God. They got to visit. Oh yeah, well they don't like you coining money, but gold is gold. Price is down too, huh? Well, with the dollars hit, I wouldn't worry about it. But thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. So, guys, seriously. So we've talked a little bit about we're probably already in the cold Civil War. I'll probably do a video specifically on that really when I get a little time. But here's another thing. World War III risk. Consider this. I think a whole lot of what's going on in the world today the wars, the consternations, the rumors of war, are because we have a weak man in charge here. A weak man in charge is even weaker, and he's a lame duck president now. I would submit he's the lamest duck we've ever had. Very lame duck. And that just invites trouble. And the fact that the time in office might be limited might tempt people to get it while the getting's good. I got a couple of adages in my life I've lived by. It's strike when the iron's hot and get it while the getting's good. Well, the iron is hot and the getting is good for those other countries if they want to make major advancements. If they want to seize things that they should not ordinarily want to seize, like islands claimed by the Philippines, Taiwan, things like that. You see where I'm going, guys? This could get us into World War III faster than you can snap your fingers. POTUS puppet, yeah. I think you're hitting something there, Stray Kitten. Hey, Stray Kitten, I saw you on somebody else's channel recently. Was it Black Scout Survival, or maybe it was Magic Prepper, somewhere like that. Anyway, so glad to have you here. So, not a bad financial decision, Val, but you will always have bills. Yeah, you need some way to pay bills. So, but you might want to have. Don't put all your ducks in one basket. All your eggs in one basket or something like that. Because if you got somebody like Trudeau says, "Oh, you can't have your money because you gave $5 to some truckers," that would be a problem. So let's think about that. Just Black Scout Survival. There you go. He's got a good channel. I like him. I like watching him sometimes. Yeah, that's another good channel. If y'all go over there and subscribe, tell them Green Greg sent you. You probably know who I am. Enough of you jump in there, and you might figure it out. So I watch Black Scout Survival too. There you go, Billy the Kid. So, guys, I think we're maybe inviting a major war soon. I hope to have myself set up really well in Arizona before November hits, maybe before October, because October is when the sea states are really calm in the Strait of Taiwan. The Strait of Taiwan. Those sea states are really calm then. It would be a really good time right before the election. Somebody wants to make a grab. I'm not saying they will then, but don't discount it. It could happen. It could easily happen, guys. So just be ready, guys, for it to hit the fan big time. Our money is on the verge of hitting the fan. World War III may hit the fan. We may, if they put another attempt out on the T-Man, if they succeed, it could get ugly in a hurry. We may have came a quarter inch from a full-blown civil war already. We may have been that close just a couple weeks ago, in Pennsylvania, Butler County. So, fish, hunt, gather, water filtration. There you go, Steve. Now you're talking. Guys, start paying attention to prepping. I know a lot of you guys like to talk about it. You like to listen to it. The doing sometimes is lagging. The time to lag in your doing is over. It's time to get your preps in order. Just look at Nate. He's building with Canadian Prepper. He's building a homestead. He did a video on a tractor today. Well, I got a skid steer out here right now. But I'm trying to get out of this place so I can get out to Arizona. I got tons of stuff here. I have taken 4 vehicular trips to Arizona to take stuff out there, and I've not even got half my stuff there yet. I've got a storage room. No, I got a storage room full in Arizona. I got a 20-foot storage room full here, a 10-foot storage room full here. I'm starting to put stuff in another 20-footer, and I don't know if it's going to be big enough because I don't have enough time to make all the trips out there just now, so I'm putting stuff in storage. I'm trying to get out here as soon as I can. But anyway, yeah, and I got to figure out how to make my trips while I'm working. I'm working during the day, so I might need a driver who can drive for me while I spank a keyboard. So I'll be working and maybe somebody else will be doing the driving. So I got to do something like that, guys. I got a lot of work. Mr. KIA is heading up to Butler for his evaluation. So, good. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Billy Kid. So, yeah, I got a day job. Very busy day job. Very demanding day job. But it's also something I like doing. So it's rewarding in that I know I can make a difference. So, back many moons ago, I found this picture today. A picture of me when I worked on the space station program the first time I worked on it. I worked on it in 3 different instances. There I am in my office. That's me. See, I'm wearing a Canadian shirt. Why? Because I was doing robotic systems integration. Most of the robotics were being built in Canada. So I made a lot of trips to Canada back in the day. And the Canadians were real fond of me because I've got a huge, nice letter of recommendation from the chief engineer of the Mobile Servicing Center. It was developed by Canada, Ken Kirkowich. I'll show you that real soon. Now some other cool pictures. This is me and my dad. Don't seem like it was that long ago, but for some reason I looked a lot younger there. And here's the pictures that I still got in plastic. That is my friend. He's passed away. Shit, I'm getting brain locked right now. That's got brain locked. Anyway, he riding his rocket bike. That's shoot, I can't think of his name right now all at once. I was just showing somebody, telling him the name. But I know the guy's name like my back of my hand almost. For some reason I'm getting brain locked. They'll come to me later. And the lady over here is, her and her husband bought most of my worm farm. That's one of my first cousins. So I'll tell y'all more about that when they are ready to make an announcement on it. So, yeah, there you go, Billy Kid. So that's kind of what's going down, guys. So, oh yeah, back in the day when that picture was taken, what I meant to say, I forgot. Young man I was. I used to look up to the old guys. The guys who'd worked Saturn V and space shuttle programs and stuff like that. They were still around and some of them were still working. They were the old guys, and I looked up to them. Well, now I got guys looking up to me the same way. Because now I'm the old guy, and I've been around a long time and done a lot of projects. What? No, that wasn't a Macintosh. That was an IBM style computer, although we had some Macs. Notice the monitor. I actually think that one's got blue on it. But back then, most of your monitors are monochrome, like just green. That one had green and blue. But it wasn't full color. It was just text, you know. We didn't have all the... I did have PowerPoint. I did have PowerPoint. And yeah, actually, we had Windows, an early version of Windows, like maybe 3.1. When we did internet stuff, though, it was like just... like modem. Well, it wasn't modem. We had an internet. It was called all-in-one back then. It wasn't anything like we have today. You notice I'm talking on a cord phone. But it wasn't but a couple of jobs previously. I worked on them. You know, my only computer was access was through a green screen monitor. Just color green was all we had. Now that picture was actually made in, I said we had Windows. That picture was made in somewhere between 1991 and I think it was 1992 to 1993, somewhere in that time frame. Anyway, learned how to dry smoke fish and meat. There you go, Steve. Those are good skills, definitely. The old floppy disk. Oh, I found one, a great big floppy disk today. It's upstairs. One of the big 5 1/4 inches. You know, the great big ones. And then we got a bunch of the ones that you put more. I thought we would really advance them when they come up with a floppy disk you could fit in your shirt pocket. Maybe think of Star Trek when they had these little things that walk around with this, you know, pieces of plastic supposedly had all that data on it. Man, I thought that's where we were at. Of course, now we got thumb drives, which is way beyond that. So, yeah, guys, when I started with computers, we had punch cards. Matter of fact, I've operated an IBM 12 key punch machine. As a matter of fact, the punch cards were coded in binary coded decimal, which is a forerunner of the ASCII code. And I knew binary coded decimal well enough that I could hold one of those cards up without any printing on top and tell you what that card said just by virtue of where the holes were. I could do that. Yeah, the 3.5 came later. Yeah, that was the smaller one that you could stick in your shirt pocket. But they had the real floppy was the bigger one. And then there was a bigger floppy drive before that even. I think it was about 7 something. So, yeah, technology has advanced considerably. Considerably. Anyway, back in the day, there was no real internet. A computer was something you operated in your home without being tied to everything else. And now everything's tied together, even over your phone, like the one I'm holding. I hope my signal's decent. So I remember this Scuzzy. Oh yeah, Scuzzy. Yeah. So we had a lot of different port technologies. I remember a lot of our peripheral devices used RS-232 serial port. Parallel port, excuse me, that was a parallel port. We also had serial data ports, and we had the D connectors, and now everything's just a USB connector. Now I got USB-C and USB micros. So teletype, there you go. I remember teletype. So yeah, we've had a lot of advances since those days. I remember one of all our computers we had if you wanted to get access to another computer, you used to dial-up modem. Even when I first started doing internet, it was a dial-up modem. I had a dial-up modem right here in this house. So make all those little funky sounds, phones just you hear it, it's trying to call in and communicate. So there was a hacker who learned those tones. You can get on a phone and hack computers with his voice. Yikes. Yeah, AOL. I still have my AOL account. Atari computer. I got a Timex Sinclair. I got a Commodore 64. I haven't used either one in many, many decades, but they would probably both work if you connected them up. But anyway, guys, so AOL. Hi, Greg. I've been a minute, and I've got to catch you live. I just finished canning Fig Jim. Now, you are ahead of us. That's the thing to be doing. I was blessed with a good harvest this year. Well, that girl, glad to hear it. That's awesome. MySpace. Oh, yeah, that was one of the earlier social media sites. I actually thought it was pretty good, but man, it kind of got wonky. And they pretty much almost shut it down. And what was beautiful about MySpace is you could choose and modify your screen wallpaper any way you wanted to. You can't do that over on Facebook, but that's another story. Jerry Gamble, I remember back in the day. Now my phone is smarter than my AOL. Old fax machines. Oh yeah. Dot matrix printers. Hey, I cheated. I got me a typewriter that I could interface to a computer, and I would take a Word document and break it down page by page into ASCII files and send those to the typewriter. So I was actually producing typewritten text with my computer back before they had all these laser printers and such. So it was typed by typewriter. And back in the days when everybody else was using dot matrix. And a lot of my purist computer nerds didn't like that. But I was running conferences and things like that. And I did not want to be sending people what I thought was cheesy looking dot matrix letters. So I was able to get it. Born in 1971. Okay, well I was a 1960 guy. Been around the block a few times, guys. So, all right, it's getting late. For me right now, I got to get up early, guys. Really early. So I just want to come in here and give you guys some warnings that the way I see it, we're already in a cold civil war. And it could get ugly in a hurry. Let's hope we don't get into a hot one. We don't want that. We don't need that. But there are ways to resist tyranny, and it can be done through protest. And protest can be very demonstrative, like the truckers in Canada. Steve Poppler said, scared the heck out of the government because they suddenly realized that then they know the power of the people. They know the power of the people and the power of the principally non-urban people is very considerable, because everybody in the urban settings totally require everything produced by all the producers. So there you are, guys. And there's more of us than there is of them. That's what I keep telling you guys. So there is hope. There is hope. And what we can hope for, and what I hope for, is that tyranny don't win out. So do cast your votes, guys. So turn to the ballot box, not the ammo box. That's the main adage. Use the ballot box. Use of the ammo box is horrible. Don't go there. So stay out of that. You got to be able to defend yourselves and your family. I'm a big advocate of self-defense. So, but I will vote for Trump like the last time. Okay, Billy. So, that makes, yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few of us in here that's heading that direction. So, let's hope the big government will take notice. Oh yeah, they're trying to change Cackle's history. They're trying to rewrite articles and taking stuff off the internet. Things that suggested that she was once the border czar, for example, or her extremely liberal voting record in the Senate, the most liberal. And for our interest, what did she promote? The new Green Deal. And the new Green Deal's proposition was you get rid of cattle. No cattle. No airplane flights. In 10 years, there'd be no use of fossil fuel. And if they had got that thing through, you'd be already 4 years into it and 6 years away from no flights, no cows, no milk, no leather, no beef, and no internal combustion engines. Why aren't in Arizona? Because I've got tons of stuff to get rid of here. I got to clear this place out. My buyer ain't going to pay for it until I get my stuff out. To have the closing, I got to get everything out of here. I have been in this house since 1991. I have ran the National Space Society from this house as a volunteer. I have ran the Huntsville, Alabama L5 Society. I ran the Altitude Liftoff Program, HALO. I have ran developing hybrid rockets from altitude balloons. I have run the Altitude Research Corporation from this house. I ran my worm farm, microgreens. Started to take a shot at doing a mushroom operation. I have done aquaponics from here. I've got tons of stuff here. I was collecting a lot of windows because I wanted to, off the side of the road. I found tons of windows just thrown away. I was going to repurpose into building greenhouses. I don't have time to do a yard sale. I am working. I posted stuff on Craigslist, on Facebook. I don't even really have time to meet with people to sell the stuff I posted. I don't have time to do videos hardly. That's why y'all not seeing me, guys. Seriously, I got no time. I got to get up early, very early in the mornings. I got meetings that start at 7. So I really don't have time. This was my home. It's not going to be my home for long, but I got a lot of stuff to move. I've made 4 trips to Arizona just taking stuff out there, and I ain't even got half of it out there, maybe a quarter. So this is arduous, and there's a long way to go, and it broke my bank. Those last 3, that last trip with 3 vehicles broke my bank. That's why it's a good thing I'm working. I wouldn't have the money to send stuff out there again. I am, but I'm packing stuff. Believe it or not, no, I've already got started working on this room. This is the last room I'm really tackling because this is my operations center. So everybody wants to, well, just move, just go. Well, yeah, I've been doing it. I've been working on it. But guys, I got a lot of stuff. I've been here for a long time. It's not easily done. Not really. So, yeah, I'm trying to get it done. I'm working it. But, a lot of people, I used to move every few months. The last time I moved here, it was pretty bad. I swore I'd never move again, but I'm doing it. But, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy, guys. So, everybody wants to know, why ain't you this? Everybody thinks it's a snap of a finger. Well, all you got to do is, well, no, there is never an all you got to do is. Anytime anybody says that, run, shields up and run for the hills. So, yeah, it's very arduous just getting stuff out of here. So much. And I got a big dumpster in the front. We're just piling full. It's almost full. I've carried several trailer loads of stuff to the municipal dump down south of Huntsville here. I've given some things away. I've sold things. I've sold the DCX rocket. I've sold my rocket motor test stand. I need to release some video on that in the not too distant future. And also the DCX rocket stuff. I just hadn't had time to process the videos. I've done, I've sold 34 sled bed worm beds in my main trommel that I used, and I pressed peat moss in, and you know, some things like that. So I've sold some things. Hey, Billy the Kid, thank you. My only super chat tonight here. Salute to you, Billy the Kid. Thank you, sir. What Greg needs is 5 honest church with hard work. Yeah, amen. That's so hard to find, but that's why I'm getting out of here, because part of the reason is that you just can't hardly find that anymore. So, and the other thing is that just when you look at the way the world's heading, I think I'm making the right move, getting out where there's darn few people, and most of them are preppers. That's where I'm heading, guys. Well, thank you, Billy. So, appreciate that. So, guys, that's the bottom line. It's not easy. It's not easy to move when you've grown the kind of roots I got here. When you've got, you know, roots and roots and more roots. I've got a lot of stuff. I run a lot of things from this house and from my property out there. A lot of projects, a lot of things. So it's tough. I'm working it. I'm really working it. But guys, it's tough. So that's what I've been talking about. So it don't happen instantly. Well, thank you for showing my direct donation link there, Michelle. I will check that out when Michelle shows that. It's usually a sign that she's been there and contributed. Well, thank you, Richard. Richard Moore. Appreciate that. Salute to Richard Moore. Salute to you and Bill the Kid. And also give a salute to Michelle, because I know she's chimed in a little bit over there. Greg's going to Prepperville. Yes. Guys, all my neighbors out there are preppers. Except maybe one old couple. And they probably are. I mean, preppers are the norm out there. Here is the exception. But no, they're the norm. So when it goes down, everybody's not going to be looking to eat you. Not like it will be here. So there's definitely some advantages in that. And I've got enough tin and metal I'm sending out there. I'll be able to collect rainwater really well. Really well. Just the roof of my tiny home in the average year there would collect over 1,800, almost 2,000 gallons of water. So I got a lot more I'll be able to do with that. So rainwater collection is going to be a real high priority for me. Unfortunately, August is the main rain month. July and August, I'm going to miss it this year. A lot of the rainwater collection opportunities. And I'm missing putting the garden in right now, but I will be sending stuff out there that will enable me to do that afterwards. Take pictures of things you have to let go. I've taken pictures of a lot of stuff. I haven't even had time to post them. Guys, I seriously am struggling. I struggle to get sleep, and it's not because I'm doing YouTube. It's because I'm trying to move and working. I am working full-time. I'm working more than full-time, my friends. I am working more than full-time. More than I can even say. So I am struggling. So I had just the thought if I had to move at my age, there you go, that girl, it's no fun. It's no fun. So, nomadic fanatic. There you go. I understand it's hard to leave the home and things you worked so hard in so many years, in love and sweat and tears, but get it that you have to move on. Well, I am already doing that. Y'all, you can miss me about me out. I'm doing it, guys. But you know, there's just a lot of stuff. I don't even have time to liquidate a lot of my stuff now. That's the sad part. A lot of stuff I didn't want to take with me, I'm probably taking this. I just have to go in storage. I just don't have time to deal with liquidating a lot of this stuff. I've tried. Thank you, Rodney, for sharing the Goldbacks links. Appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, Nomadic Fantastics and Sholo has an acre of fantastic. Maybe I can find him up there. Sholo is really close. That's where I go when I go to Lowe's. The closest Lowe's to me is in Sholo. Hey there, Tim. Wow, Tim. Awesome. Thank you, Tim. Woohoo. Appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you, Tim. That'll all be gas money for my next trips out there. Guys, I put a lot of money in fuel running out there and back. You know, I've already made 4 loads out there, guys. So now you're working, just stay, cancel your home sale. I don't think I can. I've got a contract. And besides that, really and truly, I need to pay down debt. I seriously need to pay down debt and get out from under the mortgage payments. Although if I don't sell it, it wouldn't necessarily break me if I can manage to keep the work going. Well, the way everything's going, we don't know if there's going to be work. We don't know where our economy's heading. We don't know where anything's heading. I mean, when it hits the fan, everything's gone. So just something to think about. And where you're at, what you got is it. You got what you got. When the music stops playing, you got to sit down in the chair. What you got's what you got. That's it. Just keep that in mind. I've used that analogy before. You know, like musical chairs. When the music stops, you got to sit down, and what you got's what you got. And where you're at, that's probably where you're going to be at. So keep that in mind. September, well, I hope to have everything going by then. I hope, yeah, I should be out there full time by September, hopefully in sometime next month. But I am really, I got a lot of trips to make, a lot of stuff to deal with. I've got 10 sled beds, one of them sled beds on the back of Black Beauty. That's my 2-ton truck. I got a trailer I need to throw my tools into, a bunch of my tools, like my, including my blacksmithing tools, because blacksmithing might be in high order, priority, and the grid hits the grid down, it hits the fan situation. So I need to get those and some other tools of mine into that trailer I used to grow microgreens in, and try to use Betsy Blue, to take that out there. But I got several vehicles I need to take out there. I got several, I got my van I've been living out of. I'll probably still have to live out of there, Paul, because I'm having to move before my tiny home's done. But if I wait around here, we can have WWIII, and I'd be caught having the music in when I'm sitting here. I'm not sure it's a good proposition, because then I'm going to look like a pork chop to all the neighbors. So don't be the pork chop. Don't be the lamb chop. Somebody a nickname Lamb Chop once upon a time, and she took it very seriously and moved from New York State to where? Snowflake. How about that? Well, Ace Lee, it's not here yet. Well, we probably are basically a hybrid war with China. Look at all the people that's kicking a bucket with fentanyl every year, 100,000. Not a pretty situation. I think I'm near ground zero next to, White Sand Missile Range and Holloman Air Force Base. Hey, we got Ransom in the house. All right, guys, check out Ransom. He's got a great channel. Salute Ransom. He put a video up for the 4th of July, which was just me talking and babbling about freedom. Very important stuff. Good video. Go check it out. Go check out his channel. Subscribe to him right now. Do it. Don't waste any time. Check his channel out. Go subscribe to him. Do it now. And don't waste any time about that. Let's see here. We're going to make him a moderator. Bing, 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 bing. Ransom, you've been smurfed. There we go. So how are you doing? Yeah. He gave me a ride from LeetCon over to one of my friends' place last time I was up in Colorado sometime back during LeetCon. So he's been down there at the Alamogordo Space Museum. He's done some video from there, and the Alamogordo Space Museum has those parts of the DC-X rocket that I didn't own. But I sold mine to a guy named John London. So there you go. Yeah, everybody go over and subscribe to his channel. So that's a great channel, guys. So and check out that video. So my friends, he put it up for the 4th of July. Yeah, amen. Ransom's a great guy, good man. And he does a lot of videos with David Devine. Well, go to that channel and you'll find out, Stray Kitten. So he's got a small channel. It should be a lot bigger, but the network keeps shutting down. YouTube he's had several channels that YouTube shut down, but he keeps coming back. Told David Devine I said hi. I got him on one video on my channel. But anyway, so let's see here. Jerry, I get, but my home is paid for. Hey, that's great. That's great. If you're paid for, that's awesome. I still owe here. All right. Already subscribed and faithful Thursday night viewer. There you go, Val. Yeah, he does a lot of good stuff over there. So, guys, it is 3:06 a.m. I got to get up in a little bit. I hope I don't meet myself getting up as I'm laying down. So I got to go. So, folks, I want to thank everybody for coming here. I want to thank all you super chatters. Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody who's viewed my channel. Please share my videos. I'm just not able to do the kind of stuff I was earlier because my time just is non-existent practically. It's 6:06 Sunday down here. Yeah, well, it'll be that before I know it here. All right, Meg Rousen, how you doing up in Alaska? There you go. Yeah, catch me on the rewind there, Ransom. And I'll tell David I said hi. And it does use, no, my Social Security won't end. I'll be stuck at a lower rate from now on because I filed for it earlier, but you know, that's okay. It helped me get through a tough time where I had no income. So it helped me out a little bit. It did help me out a little bit, but I'm gonna have to pay it back. I'm gonna have to pay it all back if my employment continues, which I hope it does. So we'll see. That's that. But maybe I can just consider it a low interest loan. But I will have to pay it back. Either that or not get any payments from them for a few months after I go back to it. Either way, I still got to pay it back. Anyway, but it helped me get through a tight time. Very tight time. Long dry spell. So I went a half a year with no work. Even the year before, I was about 3/4 time. Right now, I'm more than full time, guys. More than full time. Quite a bit more than full time. So I'm a busy puppy and trying to move. 5 days ago, Greg Allison, we'll have to go to Walmart. Well, what about Walmart? I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, just tell me about it. You should sell those knives I made you. There you go. Right now, I'm having a hard time selling anything. Just time to do it. Not a bad idea. But they'll probably come in handy. I got Rodney's a master knifesmith. Made some really beautiful knives. That girl, Greg, I'm in Texas. I have a little over 11 inches of rain in the last 6 days. Wow. Saying, Greg, film on my soul. What do you think it is? Maybe a mold. That much rain. Hopefully the sun will come out and the UV will wipe it out. I don't know. It just could be just bacterial sludge. Probably just a bacterial sludge. Yeah, mountain high time. Let's see. Independent. There you go. That's the video right there. He just shared it, guys. Check that video out. That's me talking about freedom. I take freedom seriously, guys. I really do. If you don't believe it, watch that video. And subscribe to his channel while you're there. And give him a big thumbs up. So go for that, guys. Once again, thank you, mods. Thank you, super chatters. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And just share my videos. Share them far and wide. Because this network, YouTube, don't really love me anymore. Because I talk about things I'd rather not have talked about. And who knows, it might even shut me down. So I try to kind of keep it a little bit down low over here. I try to use swivel head and use more pointy things. But, you know, hey, share them on Twitter. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much there, Ransom. All right. Sub there, Ransom. So, Once again, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate y'all being here. We're family, and it does me a world of good just to chat with you guys and hear from y'all too. So it does lift my spirits. You do. You guys lift my spirits. I really appreciate all you. I really do. Just get ready. We got tough times coming, guys. Don't delay anymore. Get your ducks in a row. Get your matters in order. Don't waste time, guys. Waste no time. Because we don't know how long we got. Anyway, yeah, well, thank you all. Once again, thank you all, to one and all, a good night, good day, wherever you are, and Greg out.